Yo, 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 mic check. Yo, yo, yo. So I have this new filter on right now. And if you're listening, you're not going to be able to see this, obviously. But um, what it is it tracks your eyes so that I'm always staring at the camera. I'm not looking at the camera at all right now. It looks like I'm looking at the camera. That's how good this is. But like if I, like, yeah, like, I'm looking at the screen. Let's see if y'all can see when it changes right there. I didn't move my eyes. See? They moved them for me. Oh, that's crazy. Like right now, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking myself at the monitor, but it looks like I'm looking at the screen. That's crazy. Wow. And it even moves. Should I leave this on for the whole podcast? I might. That's wild. That's wild. I can't believe how smooth it is, man. We're getting crazy with the technology. I can't wait to see where it goes. All right, this was originally a test, but this is how we're gonna open the podcast because I think it's wild. I'm gonna leave the eyes on. Wow, I can't believe that. Like again, it's not even. It looks so natural, but I'm not looking. I'm not. See, that's how I'm looking. That's how I'm looking, and that's not how I'm looking. That's great. I'm not looking up right now, but it looks like I'm. That's wild. Anyways, hey everybody, it's your boy JusJrdn here. This is a moment with Jay.
I just wanted to hop on the mic and say, I know the world been a little chaotic and everything. I just wanted to check and make sure everything good in the hood like sure, you know what I mean? Say out of the fam. Okay, let's get to work. What up?
I decided I'm taking the eye thing off. It was creeping me out too much. I was sitting here for like 5 minutes being like, should I leave that in? Should I leave that? I just had that clip at the beginning. We'll leave that. We'll leave that there. It was creeping me out because I was looking at myself on the screen, but I was like eye contact with the screen because it was fixing my eyes to the camera and I was staring at myself. Oh, it was too weird. I was like, this is weird, man. That just goes to show you what's gonna happen. Man, the AI stuff is getting too crazy. What they can do with music already and video. Have y'all seen the video stuff? It's nuts how high quality now the this was not planned how I was going to start the podcast, but we'll get into it now. um I think it's Open AI Sora. Man, if y'all haven't seen this yet, Open AI is crazy, man. Open AI, that's chat GPT and stuff. um Man, these AI companies are going to be crazy because even how I see it as as like a creator. What's the best way to show y'all this? Should I just pop it up full screen there and then um I don't have the green screen on right now, so I'll just that was another thing too. I was trying to do just like kind of more of a chilling podcast today, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me just move. I know it's kind of looking shitty, but we'll just do it this way just because it's boom. Here we go. Yeah, so watch this. This is all generated, this video right now all generated just through fucking. That's not a real person. That's not a real. Isn't that fucking. Look at the way the camera moves with the people in the background, the sun, everything. That is. So the prompt is, so what they wrote in to fill this in is: a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm glowing neon and animated city signage. She wears a black leather jacket, a long red dress, and black boots, and carries a black purse. She wears sunglasses and red lipstick. She talks confidently and casually. Look at this zoom up to her face. What? The street is damp and reflective, creating a mirror effect on the colorful lights. Many pedestrians walk about. Isn't that crazy? That's all AI. This isn't real. Look at this. Woolly mammoth. Look at this. All AI generated. Wait, look at this. It's it's astonishing. It's astonishing. It's kind of scary, but you know what, man? And I got a lot to say on this topic. Just look at this is crazy. Crazy. If you're just listening, I'm sorry, but man, the AI shit is top tier right now. It's look at this right now. Look at this. It's just infinite, and look at this bird. Look at this fucking bird. Oh my god, it's incredible. Again, for those just listening, it's astonishing. It's astonishing. Look at this. Photorealistic close-up video of two pirate ships battling each other as they sail inside a cup of coffee. That could be my cup of coffee. Insane. Like, we might as well go through all of them. Look at this. A young man at his 20s is sitting on a piece of cloud in the sky reading a book. Like, that looks like a real fucking person. It's not. It's extraordinary, man. Extraordinary. And while we're talking, so, I used to be real terrified about stuff like this, but and it's still scary because we don't know what bad is going to come from that, but you also don't know what good's going to come from it and what positives are going to come from it, because it's like anything. I can't remember what the book was called. I never read it, but I heard somebody talk about it, and it's about how technology kind of like loops, and not loops, but our perception of it. Like, when the radio first was invented, people were like, what the fuck is that? What kind of devil box? And then when TV, it's like, holy shit, you're capturing souls. Or photography, all of those things, man. People were scared, and so when the internet came, people were scared. So I see it, and they're right to be, because think about how much harm has also come from that. How many like cultures weren't allowed on television, or even back in the day, and this is what I'm saying, even back in the day, if you take that example and you go back where women weren't, I think it was ancient Greece back then, they didn't let women on the stage, so guys would dress in drag, and that's where drag comes from. I don't know if that's where it originates. I don't want to be ignorant to the culture or anything, but it stems from times back then. I'm sure it's even older than that, who knows. Where guys would dress up and play the women's roles, or the female characters. So it's interesting. So that's kind of my mindset with all the technology. We don't know the good or the bad that's going to happen, and it'll be interesting to see, because I could see how even like that, like at the beginning of the podcast where my eyes were correct. That's interesting because what a small thing, and but helps, I bet, when you clip things out. I bet you the eye contact increases engagement or something. Like, there's a purpose why things like that get invented. There's some kind of utilitarian reason why. It's just that there's got to be some good that comes from it. How much good, how much bad, I don't know, because it's like, man, we're being this is turning into a weird conversation already. It's because I just finished that Cat Williams podcast with Joe Rogan yesterday. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. It is fascinating. It is they cover some wild topics, and I think it's important that you get to see that clowns, comedians, man, there's some smart motherfuckers. As much as they downplay it and stuff, man, it's like a really good musician. It's like, man, there's something special about that motherfucker. You guys just, they downplay because they're comedians, and that's, whatever, but hilarious. But so intelligent. And that's what thing with the Cat Williams and the Joe Rogan, man, they were talking about all kinds of crazy shit. But everything's cyclical, you know. So it's like we have this new technology, and there's a bunch of new stuff that we're not gonna understand about it, and we're not gonna know how to fully utilize it. Even like the internet, man. The internet is still growing, it's still expanding, and still, um, you know, people are still trying to figure it out. I know, even personally for myself, this is a good segue into something I did want to talk about. The YouTube channel's finally, well, it's not finally grown, but it's just been growing so consistently for you know, since I started the daily vlogs of the eating one meal a day. You know, I thought it was gonna fizzle out, but you know, we've only gained more followers. We're almost at 2,000 now, which is huge. You know, it's not to downplay people, and it was a long time ago, and that's why I've never given up on social media, because, you know, just because you don't have a million, you know, people are impressed with millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions and billions of views or streams or plays. But dog, people downplay 20 likes, 20 comments, 50 comments, 100 people. If you had 100 people in your bedroom, you'd be like, what the fuck? There's so many people here. Yeah, amongst the billions of people that use the internet every day. But it's like, bro, it's not to downplay the small amount. Yeah, just because you have a smaller amount doesn't mean that's a bad amount to have. Just because you want more doesn't mean that, you know. So I'm very excited about the community and just my platforms right now, especially just YouTube. I'm so excited about YouTube. You know, I've made my first little bit of money off of YouTube, nothing crazy, but, you know, people have donated to the channel, and that's super cool. Not that anyone has to, but it does help, and it's just cool to see that people are like, yo, thanks, or whatever, here's showing some love. Or so that's super cool. And this is why I love this platform. It's just, you know, people check me on my shit. It's not like everyone's a supporter here too. It's like, you know, you're really getting to be thrown out into the world on YouTube. And it seems like it's still a place that encourages organic growth, while it's like other platforms are so challenging. And again, maybe it's just because I got this one a little bit more figured out, a little bit more dialed in. But I love where YouTube's at, and I love the potential of where YouTube's at. Um, you know, and Spotify's a hard one, especially as a musician, because, man, I'm starting to really enjoy what I'm getting from YouTube in every sense, you know. From my podcast has grown, where we were getting only a couple, you know, 10, 20, 30, 50 views. Now we're getting at least 100 every time, and that's a lot. I've only been doing podcasting for not even a year. In a few more months it'll be a year, but, you know, we get people that tune in, and when I miss an episode, people message me about it, like, you know, it's cool, you know. And I can put my music on here, my music videos, my vlogs. I can post in the community section. I just be loving it. Spotify and stuff, man, I don't know, man. I just don't. And I know I got stuff everywhere, but it's just like where my main focus is the YouTube. And that's why especially for me, it makes sense, because I still do physical things, like, you know, I'm making a physical vinyl, and it's like, yeah, I don't need Spotify for that. But anyways, I digress. I've been really into the whole YouTube world lately. Oh, yo, while we're just on this subject, I got some other things to talk about. But one thing I think is fascinating, and because I just been talking about the music side right now, this is great. I feel more in the flow of things. You know, last time with the podcast, I was trying to do too much. I was trying to live stream it, and I had things that I wanted to talk about. I got way too overwhelmed. Things were going, YouTube was sending me like errors, and I was trying to connect the streaming to I was just like, all right, well, at least I tried. I will do that. I will do that occasionally, but I think I might need a second person here, or I might have to wait until I'm just way more prepared, or I just got to do it like a live. I don't know. I don't know how I would do it again. I could probably just try it a couple more times, and I'll become more comfortable with the flow of how that one works. But it's so much different. It's not so much different. It's just a whole nother element added on to what the podcasting already is. it makes it again more like more like a live show, more like a live. But that's what I'm trying. I had so many thoughts about what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to create, and I think over the net we will be creating even more content. I just think there's cool things to do, and I like to do like I like being a musician. I like being a podcaster, a fitness health motherfucker too, and but I think there's more for me to create. I just really like creating and being part of other people creating too, and yeah. Anyways, talking about creation, so Universal Records is I think they're called Universal Music Group actually. Um I'm going to write. They're doing this interesting uh thing right now. Oh, right here. Very interesting. I haven't really dove too deep into it. I just saw a couple like posts about it or something. Music and sound effects for your videos. 50,000 better than royalty free tracks, and 200,000, I think that's what SFX stands for, from the world's most trusted music company, written and composed by our finest artists. So this is what's happening. Let me run it down for y'all. The music industry, and even artists like Akon, for instance, one of a hugely successful artist, some of the biggest bangers of my youth. um he still makes music now, but just not as much as he used to. And he's super rich now. He has his own crypto coin, he has his own city, he's trying to help build communities, brought electricity. Akon doing some crazy shit, if you didn't know, and he's loaded now. You also got to remember Akon originally signed T-Pain. Lots of crazy shit. Convict music, some good tracks with Young Jeezy. Akon and Young Jeezy trying to take it easy. If you're looking for me, I'll be on the block. I used to have Locked Up was my brother's ringtone back when I used to assign people's ringtones to them. You could buy the dollar fucking ringtone shit for your phone and assign it. I think you can still do that, but yeah, his was Locked Up. I'm locked up, won't let me out. Won't let me out. I'm locked up, won't let me out. Oh, man, that what bangers. I'm gonna have to go through Akon again. Just listen to some of his shit. He was what's that other one? Nobody wanna see us together, but it don't matter, no. Cause I got you, babe. Lots of bangers. Anyways, I say all that to say Akon even was talking about how if he was trying to make money, doing it through music just isn't where it used to be. And it all really depends on how you see it. I understand his perspective on it completely. Like, it's like where you were actually making money, even if you were selling it on iTunes, that was still, people were still making bank off iTunes. And now it's like, unless you're the top percentage, these streaming platforms, you're just not really making the money. And I know Russ has talked about it, and but again, he's talking about it from a place of succeeding at the very top, and most people just are never going to be there. And we're talking about everybody. Maybe not the people at the bottom putting in the lowest amount of effort, but even myself, I have hundreds of thousands of streams, and I've made a couple $100 from all that. I've made more money off of my CD sales than I have off of all of my streaming. And I've only sold, prior to this, 300 CDs, and I've made more off my vinyl now already. um well, I guess technically not only, it's still covering the cost of the sales, but just total volume sold, because the vinyls are more expensive than CDs. Obviously, I've made more off of the vinyls than I did from the CDs. I remember when I used to sell my very first, I wonder if I can, there's no way. um I remember when I first. There's no way there's a. Would there be a picture on the internet of it? I used to go by JusJrdn, and the very first thing I ever sold musically was a mixtape in high school, and I just try to sell. I made a shitty. I figured out we had a printer at home, and I just bought a bunch of blank CDs, and I burnt the CDs. I recorded a bunch of shit, and I don't even know how many tracks I had, and but that's back when I used to go by the name J Drizzle, and and yeah, I used to sell slang mixtapes in the hallways, and I remember there was a couple other musicians from other schools, other rappers, and they didn't like me. I didn't like them. They used to talk shit. There was like a whole beef going down at one time. I forgot about that actually. That's a crazy time. Motherfuckers talking shit that I was rapping, selling these mixtape, but the other motherfuckers were way worse. Way worse. I'm not even saying I'm the greatest, even though I'm the greatest, but they were just super shitty, like super shitty. Oh man, the coffee's slapping today. Anyway, so I've always tried to make money off of the music. Because I've always put in the effort, and I always like, hey man, if you support it, please. Um, People I saw, I can't remember how many I sold, but people still have those mixtapes, and they'll send me a picture every once in a while, and that's always a cool feeling. It's like, oh man, this may be a shitty thing. I think now that it's a shitty thing, but it's like I'm glad I created it. Still, it's like it's always the thing with me. Even if things aren't successful, it's like I'm really making these things for myself, and some of them I'm willing to share, and that's what art is to me. I make art because it's something that I like to do. I make all of these things because it's something that I want to do. Even the vlogs, I do the vlogs because it's something that has helped me keep myself very accountable. And, that's why I do it. In the podcasting, well, it mostly became because I was a fan of podcasting, and a bunch of people in my life told me that I'd probably be a decent podcaster. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And then I committed myself to a year of doing it. Just like the OMAD video, I committed myself to at least a year of doing it. Because that's also a thing. If I'll try new things all the time. Maybe not all the time. I'll try new things. But with me, it's really about, okay, let's commit to something for a while and see if I like it, and same with the podcast, and just like, and then it turns to be into anything. It's, you love it sometimes, you hate it some other times. Sometimes it's the push, sometimes it's the drive, sometimes, work is work. But anyways, I got fucking sidetracked here. I say all that. These are the podcasts we like. We can get into it. I say all of this to say things like Spotify and stuff, unless you're getting hundreds of thousands of streams a month, unless you get maybe even tens of thousands, but even that, not really. It's hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions. Then you're even on YouTube to make income, to make drastic income, livable income. You gotta be getting hundreds of thousands of streams, views, subscribers, to be making money. So, and because you got to remember that record labels, they have huge artists, of course, but they also have artists that are kind of whatever, and some artists that are nobodies. They have a lot more kind of the middle section of these middle of the road artists that maybe they were popular and they're not so popular now, or maybe they come up, and there's lots of, and it ranges, yes, there's the Drakes and the Justin Biebers and the Adeles, but then there's like, the Action Bronsons and the and not to throw Action Bronson on the bus, he's also very successful. Or like who else would I kind of put into that category? Ace Hood, who are very successful, making a living, but not as much as the top tier, most popular motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyways, I say all of that to say this has been one of the most interesting um breakthroughs in music that I've seen in a long time. And so Universal Music has dropped their platform, dropped this platform called Universal Music for Creators. And essentially, they've just released, because creators like myself create your own universe. Yeah, see, this is so crazy. So all the music on this, if you subscribe, you can put into, like, I could play them on the podcast, and that's for, you know, $11 a month or $30 a month if you're going on a bunch of, if you're using quite a bit of it. I just was like, man, this could be a really cool way, because a lot of the social media platforms, like TikTok, don't pay properly for music being used, and that's why there's a lot of confusion about how things need to be loaded up and all kinds of shit like that. And so this is interesting. So now, as opposed to, you can go on YouTube, and I could like subscribe and put my music on YouTube and have it be copyright free, and anyone can put it in videos and all that, blah 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 blah. But this way, at least now, because there's all kinds of services like this, obviously, for creators. I use some of them for backgrounds on the podcast, and for making thumbnails, or all kinds of things that are royalty free. But this one, I was just like, oh damn, this is starting to make record labels make sense again. This is just an avenue where record labels will make sense again, because record labels right now, they want a lot of percentage. They want you to already be established. They want you to already be making money, and then they'll come in and kind of assist and see if they can help further, or just find a way to get the content, because the music, the catalog, or whatever is of value, and they can see that. Always interesting, I love business. I love business in general. I love hearing about how things work. I like to know how the economies are going and how things flow in and out. And so I'm always interested. And then obviously I am a musician trying to make money off of the music. So I always am kind of my ear. What do you say? What's that saying? Ear to the floor? Foot to the floor? Ear to the wall? I don't know what that's saying. I can't remember what the fuck that saying is now. Where you're always keeping your ear to the, eyes to the sky. I can't even remember what the saying is. Where you're always just like looking around, like here, listening for things. I don't know. I don't know what the fucking that's all right. Anyways, yeah, but that's one thing that I wanted to talk about, because I just found that I think even last night it was a crazy little discovery there. Actually, I need to go to the bathroom real bad. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. So I've been really into well, I haven't been into, but I've been doing 1,200 calories a day. Sometimes going up to 15 or 16 about, but sticking to about 1,200 calories a day. And the first few days I was very hungry during the day, and when I get close to when I eat, which is around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, I get pretty hungry. But especially because I train during the day, I'm going to train after this, then I won't eat for a few hours, and then I'll eat. And I'm impressed with how much you can do on such low calories. And I say that because over the weekend, my homie does snow removal, and he needed some. Shout out to the boy Andrew Menzek. And gotta get this coffee in me. I gotta work out after this podcast, And talking about 1,200 calories, how much energy I got. And so I did snow removal with the homie. Supposed to go for like an hour or two. Ended up going all day, 8 hours shoveling snow. And bruh, again, I'm on 1,200 calories. For someone like myself, my maintenance is about 2,400 calories. About. So so to maintain my body weight, about 2,400 calories. So I'm eating less than half of that. It's pretty extreme. I'm not gonna lie, but what I'm gonna say is I can't believe how yeah, it's a little bit of food, and you gotta get your head wrapped around how little you're eating compared to what you're eating before. But I'm dropping weight pretty steadily, and I'm sleeping well. Yeah, I'm a little bit hungry, but it's like, man, especially compared to when I've fasted for days and stuff, it's not even that tough. Drinking lots of water, and that's another thing I kind of gotten crazy on is right now I've been drinking a lot of Fiji water, um because dog, I just am so against fluoride right now. Even fluoride in toothpaste and stuff. I understand that there's some benefits for your health, but man, how bad fluoride is for you, it's one of those things where I'm like, God damn, why is this in the water? Why? Like, I understand why it's in the water, why they say it's for your teeth, but it lowers your IQ. It is bad for you. It is bad for you. Bad. And in places where they put a ton of fluoride in the water, the IQ is significantly lower. So I'm like, bruh, why are we even using this at all? I'm sure there's different alternatives in toothpaste and stuff, and that's the next thing that I'm going to look into. But man, I've been drinking a lot of just uh like bottled water from Fiji. Well, Fiji is one of them, and then Montelier. I can't remember what the fuck that sparkling water is, but I haven't been drinking like tap water. And they even say if you buy like a Brita filter or something and filter it out that way, it's much better. Um, but I'm always looking. If anyone knows, shout out uh, the highest quality water you can get in Edmonton. Let me know. That would be sick. Definitely something I want to invest in. Especially I've been going so hard with the health and wellness over the last few months, and I just feel like I'm dialed in with it again. I'm in my flow. It's been a long time since I've been this in the flow, this consistent with the health and wellness, and how mindful I be every time I eat. Even when I eat poorly, I make the decision. I'm like, no, I want this. I'm gonna have this now. This is how I'm gonna make it work. Which is how food is so important for so many things. Your healing, for your mental health, your physical health, your happiness level, all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, make sure you get that. So one thing I've discovered about myself too recently is I like sardines, man. I didn't know there was all these benefits to sardines. They have so many micronutrients. They're so rich in um the omegas that are super good for you, and the fats. They're high in protein. Obviously, there's no carbs. The thing with the sardines, though, is got to make sure you're careful. I get them just packaged in water. It's just sardines in water, and that makes them. There's no other shit in them. And I'm sure you could somewhere find olive oil ones, because again, if you don't know, now you know. Olive oil is the goat. Um, But yeah, the sardine game, man, is super. And I didn't know. I straight up ate Cholula, some sweet habanero hot sauce Cholula on some fucking sardines, just over some plain arugula. And bruh, it was a delicious, super healthy, super clean meal. And I couldn't believe how delicious it was. That's the one thing too, is like, the cleaner I eat, the less I need the sugar and stuff, and that's good, man. Everyone likes a nice little treat every once in a while and all that, but I couldn't. It's cool to just be eating super clean. But yeah, I couldn't believe that was another thing too. How much my recovery? I'm on 1,200 calories. Sometimes I think I ate 1,500 calories the other day, and I got 150 grams of protein in. But it seems like most days I'm shooting kind of towards 80 to 100. Maybe I can get it up to 120 grams of protein if I eat super, super clean. But it's like most days I want to try to get a snack, at least something in like popcorn. Popcorn high volume. Even though there's carbs in it, there's a large volume and there's a bunch of fiber in it. So it's a pretty good snack, especially when I'm on low cal. So if I can get 900 calories of meat and protein, and then one or 200 calories of vegetables, and then 100 or 200 calories of a snack. It's cool. I've also been real into juicing lately. I got this one. It's green apple, celery, cucumber. Throw that shit in the blender with some Fiji water. That's what I'm doing. Shout out Fiji if you wanna fucking sponsor me, man. Shout out Fiji water, man. Send me some water. I'll drink it. I'll drink it everywhere on all the videos everywhere. I love water. What was I saying? Oh, and this juice and this just straining it again because I'm trying to keep my calories low, but I'm trying to get as much nutrients into the body, and that's when juicing is beneficial. Because usually when you're eating fruits and vegetables and stuff, smoothies and stuff are still pretty good. People want to say that it affects your blood sugar levels, but they did a study about drinking and eating your and seeing, because what happens is whenever you eat, no matter what you eat, you're gonna get an insulin spike. But but when you're eating carbohydrates and processed sugars, anything like that, your blood sugar is gonna spike more. And then there's things you can do to combat that, like eating your protein source first, or having better sources of uh carbohydrates. Like sugar's gonna fucking spike your insulin like crazy. Some of the artificial sweeteners will as well. Because it tricks your body. Your body's like, yeah, this is still sugar, even that there's no calories in it. Because, and that's the argument with fasting and stuff. One of the biggest reasons why it's beneficial is you don't have so much insulin spike. Because when you get these insulin spikes when you're eating food, it causes inflammation. It causes damage. Every time you eat something, you're actually causing your body a little bit damage, but it's the trade-off. Obviously, you need to eat to survive, but your body's like, fuck, we got to break this. It takes work for your body to make that into nourishment, you know? And so anyways, a lot of people used to think that if you drink, and I guess there's conflicting evidence. I don't, I'm not a professional, but from my understanding, that there was a study about drinking like in a smoothie, blending up a banana and other fruits, and just eating them whole, and they essentially spike your insulin levels the same. And yeah, they spike it a little bit more. Things like berries won't spike it as much, where something like a banana or like um, a mango probably will spike it a little bit more because there's less fiber and more sugar. Sorry for nerding out there. But anyways, it's an interesting thing. And that's one of the biggest things why olive oil is so impressive, because it helps combat. So things like fats will help not spike your insulin levels, even if you do follow it up with some carbohydrates. That's why in some of the videos before, especially on the 80-20 diet, 80-20-80 diet, whatever it's called, weight loss diet, co-invented, which is just essentially a deeper version of ketosis than what is now tradition. I know so much about dieting and food. Jesus Christ. But I still don't even, and that's the thing about myself too, is I know that I still don't know a ton, but I continue to learn, and I think it's one of the most interesting things, and how people should eat and how important eating is, and all of this stuff that we know about eating is so important. What was I even just talking about? Oh yeah, so olive oil. Why olive oil is so why olive oil is so interesting in regards to blood sugar spiking. And that when you spike your blood sugar, when your blood sugar goes up, your insulin goes up, tries to bring blood sugar down. You can only have so much. It's crazy. How much sugar? I think it's 2 tablespoons. That's the thing. This is what people don't understand. Your body really has to process sugar. It's really bad for you. Cuz and if your body's not good at it, like diabetics and stuff, that's why it's so. Because I'll show you how much sugar is in your blood. Um, I'm looking for. There it is. The actual amount of glucose in your blood and body fluids is very small. Now, Yeah. I won't go too. Yeah. Um. So there's an equivalent of a teaspoon of sugar in your blood, and if I believe if it goes up to a teaspoon and a half, you're going to die. Like it's that significant. Like you should have very little blood sugar, but then that's the other thing too is you can't have too low. I'm trying to. The human body contains about 5 liters of blood. This amount is 4 grams of sugar in that blood, which is less than a teaspoon of sugar. So it's like you have a little bit of sugar in your blood. And so your body's got to really balance that. Your body got to do a lot of things. That's why I'm always so interested about your body. And that's always one thing to be grateful for. Even if your body, even say you're sick or you're, again, not that I should be speaking for a population of I got asthma. My lungs don't work as good. So I can speak for myself with that disadvantage. My lungs don't work as good. I just don't have as much volume in my lungs as other people do. I'm asthmatic, my lungs are underdeveloped. However, does that stop me from being athletic? No, because you can work up and get past things, Just because you have a disadvantage doesn't mean your body is incredible. Like, I do cardiovascular exercise all the time and I have underdeveloped lungs. It's harder for me to breathe. But you can do things like meditation and just building up your conditioning, and you can get fucking, your lungs can improve. And it's like I bet I have better lung efficiency than most people my age, and I have a disadvantage, but that's what I'm saying. It's like your body can still, just because you're lacking in one area, your body, if you're alive, your body is doing a lot of amazing things to make it work. And that's why I think the body is so fascinating, and just studying the body and how foods work, and that's why it's cool. It's like, it's almost like dieting and exercise and all that, man. It's almost like science. It is science, but it's almost like experimenting to me. And that's why I like to do these dry fasts and these different diets. Like, okay, what if I eat sardines all weekend? What's going to happen to me? Am I going to feel like shit? Or am I feel amazing? And I've tried different things. Carnivore. I've been on a vegan diet too. I would be interested to try a vegan diet again for a couple of, maybe a week or something, just to see how it goes. It's a lot. I have a better understanding of it now. When I did it before, I just was not as educated as I am now, and I think I could do it way better, because there are some, especially now, there's some vegan dishes that I really do love. Some Indian dishes that I really like, that are especially Indian dishes. They got some. I think I mean, I haven't eaten a lot of vegan dishes, but man, there's some good ones. Where is it going with this? Yeah, so I think, because it's like, especially when you're dieting and stuff, people get so stressed out about losing weight and stuff, and it's just like, if you come from it as an approach like, okay, like myself, I give myself a year to lose 50 pounds, get shredded again. That's a long time. That's a lot of weight. And I've lost 22 pounds. Damn, I'm almost halfway there. That's exciting. It's almost halfway through the year too. And I've kind of stepped on the pedal with it, That's why I went down to the 1,200 calories. But at the beginning of the year, my goal was simple: lose 1 pound a week. In some weeks I would lose none. Some weeks I would lose 2 or 3, and it would average out. And it's averaged out, I think it still has averaged out to 1.5 pounds a week over this extended time, because I've lost, I was losing like 1.9 pounds, and then I was losing like 1.1 pounds, and that was the average for the longest time. But now it's because I'm losing closer to 2 or 3 pounds a week. It looks like it's jumped up to like 1.5 or 1.9 or something like that, which is pretty cool. Again, see, it's like an experiment. It's just like, okay, these are the results. Are we going to keep things the same? I'm liking how things are going, or we're going to make some tweaks and adjustments, and I'm always, and I've said this on the podcast before, rigid flexibility. It's like, have your goal, keep everything in mind, but know that it's not going to turn out like you think, in most regards. And that's cool. Fucking, you have your goal, And as long as you're progressing towards your goal, who cares how you got there? That's my whole argument, with everything that I do. Yeah, I wanted to drop my album in like fucking 2022 or something. Is it awful that it's coming out in 2024? I don't think so. I'm okay with that, It's like that's just the way life unfolds. That's just the way things are. You could sit and bitch and complain about things, or you could just be like, yeah, okay, let's adjust and let's make the best out of things. And sometimes people will hate you, and sometimes people won't like what you're doing, but people are going to do that even if everything went according to plan too, That's just what I'm starting to understand, and it's like, and that's how I move through my life, man. I just do the things that I want to do. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Now, if I did something I did something wrong, that's a different thing. But it's like, even things like disrespect and shit, man, I ain't got no time for that. I'm out. And people were always like, well, Jay, you fucking, yeah, sometimes I just learned that about myself. It's like, yeah, sometimes I go quiet and I ghost motherfuckers and it's my fault. But sometimes it's like, nah, fuck you, man. I don't owe you a response. You did something, you pissed me off or something. I don't owe you anything, unless I do owe you something. Then that's a different story. But most of the time, you don't owe people shit, And on that regard, most people don't owe me shit either. And so with that, it just made my life way more chill. And that's what I like. People always like, Jay, you so chill, you so positive. So it's because I structure my life like that, man. Even when things go shitty, it was a couple weeks there. Things are still kind of up in the air with me. I just don't think I can talk about it right now. But just some things that are going on in the background with my schooling that I'm no longer a part of. When I can tell this story, it will be interesting. Because the people in my life that I have been able to share this with, they're like, oh shit, that's crazy. That's crazy. And it is crazy. So we'll see. It's still in the middle of a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I can't say nothing. I don't think I can say anything about it right now. Because I'm in the middle of getting a bunch of things figured out. But it's wild, man. It's wild. It's wild shit. It's wild shit. I've learned a lot about the education system, colleges and universities, and how that works in the province of Alberta. Interesting stuff. Anyways, well, I'll get to that maybe eventually. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to sign something. I can't say anything. Who knows? We'll see what happens in terms of that. So it's like, it's all about, and then it's like stoicism, and that's another way I always keep my. That was one of, and then that's why Olympus is such a important project to me, Olympus 1 and 2, because it's like, a lot of the stuff that I talk about on here is some of the things that have changed my life the most. The stoic mindset of, it's just what Marcus Aurelius and shit is talking about. Just, life is gonna be shit at times for everyone. That's okay. Fucking keep going. Do what you can. Don't complain about things that are not in your control. Like all the truths, all the realisms that we already know. And it's nice to get reminded of those things. And that's why I love the book, The Daily Stoic. I know I talked about that when Ella was on, and I talk about it all the time. And I got a track on Olympus 2 called The Daily Stoic. And that's what I'm telling you. It's that impactful of a book. Ryan Holiday, again, I know I've talked about this a bunch of times. One of my favorite authors as well. Yeah, crazy shit, all that stuff. It's like, no, we already talked about that last time, I think. Yeah. Anyways, y'all, this has been fun. I'm happy to get back to the normal. We try a bunch of different things, and one thing that will be cool is again, it will be in the near future while we're still assembling things. But it's like, once I have a different setup, I'll be doing more live streams on YouTube. I hope to do some. I hope to maybe do some live concerts on YouTube, and also some live concerts that I broadcast on YouTube Live as well. We'll see though. We'll see. Yeah. Lots of different streaming ideas. I've been streaming some live home workouts and stuff like that. So yeah, really loving the YouTube platform. Anyways, I hope y'all having a beautiful week. It's cool to be back on the podcast. I will, again, I know I always say this, but I will be eventually bringing back some of the guests. We got some cool ones lined up, and yeah, we got some new music dropping soon. We got more music videos. We got the vinyl dropping. You can still order the vinyl at PrimePurposeMovement.com or .ca. Go into the shop, pre-order the vinyls. We got, I think, maybe close to 100 pre-ordered already. Maybe not quite. Maybe just under 100. But yeah, those are flowing. So I appreciate everyone there. Yeah, that's where we at. More love, more success. I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening. This has been A Moment with Jay.
I hope you know, with every darker night, there's a brighter day. Through the chaos, we'll be okay. Sending nothing but positive vibes your way. Love for always. Jay.